And I do believe we are live. Welcome, ladies. It is so lovely to have you for my first live for the year for ABIC.
Thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Well, of course, you beautiful ladies are from Cicadia, and we have Rachel Stevens and Nicola Leverve. Leverve? How do you say
Very
it?
fancy.
Lelive, like
Livre. That's
believe
right.
in Lelive.
The Livre, the beautiful, exotic Nicole. And today we've got a wonderful live actually, because Cicadia are foundation members of ABIC. And we are so proud and privileged to have you guys on board. We're going to be talking about today all things industry, really, about the direction of the industry, what's happening, why you decided to become foundation members of ABIC and support the industry in this incredibly generous way. But before we delve into it, we would really love to hear from both of you a little bit about your backgrounds and how you came to be in Cicadia. Rachel, of course, you're the CEO. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the journey to CEO-dom.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone, it was kind of nearly fell in my lap. I became a beautician in 1994 and did some dermal science, worked for a plastic surgeon and worked with lots of brands. And I was always looking for something that was natural, but with science.
Right.
And that's hard to find because my lifestyle's quite organic. So I was looking for, that sort of organicness. But then I realized I needed those peptides and that real deep science driven ingredients to make the changes into the skin. And so I remember I was reading from a book, Advanced Professional Skincare, and I'd read from this book for so long. And I Googled the name and it was Dr. Pugliese and this whole world of enzyme therapy and peptides and stem cells just opened up. But, they had a really beautiful balance between nature and science. And that's where sort of the journey began. And my husband and I, Phil, took over Cicadia during COVID, and it was a really hard time. And but it's just we've met some amazing people and get to be involved in companies such as ABIC.
Wow. And so you really were so passionate about this brand that you thought, I'm going to call up their head office and say, can I take it in Australia? That's a bold move.
Well, he was very much like, no, we're not bringing it into Australia. You have to buy it through the US. And we just really fought hard and kept sending business proposals through and were a bit relentless. And he kind of gave in.
You know what? That is a very inspiring story anyway. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in our industry, a lot of female entrepreneurs in our industry, and just hearing that passion and perseverance, you got the no how many times before you actually you didn't give up, right? You went.
That's right.
Yeah, good on you. That's very inspiring. And Nicola, of course, you are such a tremendous force in the industry. You're an award winner yourself. You're someone really to look up to, KOL as well. And you chose to work with Cicadia. Tell us about your background, because I don't know who doesn't know you, but tell us about your background and then how you got to choose Cicadia as well to work with.
Well, thank you. So I knew I wanted to be a beauty therapist from the age of 6. I used to watch my mom in South Africa having her legs waxed in the old pharmacies in the day. And I was like, cool, this is what I want to do. So I've been in the industry really from the age of 6. I studied in South Africa, and then I went on to work for Steiner on the cruise ships for many years. Came back, met my partner on cruise ships, my ex-partner now. And came to Brisbane. I did a stint managing pure indulgence salons. Then took on 2 clinics. I'm used to working with big teams. Then I first managed and then bought in Therapy, which, as you all know, is an multi-award winning clinic, which I now sold a year ago and has rebranded, which is a little sad. We're around for 27 years. And I'm really passionate about the industry. I love that even though I don't have my own clinic, I get to support other clinics and still be part of the industry, which is ever evolving and growing and changing. So yeah, super excited. So I guess I've been in here since really I've been 6 and I love it.
Oh, wonderful. And you obviously were a ABIC member as well and a big supporter of ABIC for a long time, Nicola. Right, since inception.
100%.
Yeah.
Also, gone on to judge awards and help support awards and mentor and just help other clinics. I guess that's where my passion is, just really supporting the industry as a whole.
And we're having such a wonderful chat about Circadia and what kind of drew you to Circadia. What is it that it was about Circadia that you thought, wow, this is really where I'd love to be a spokesperson, a PR person, and a BDM for this company?
Well, it actually really happened organically and unexpectedly. So as you know, I believe in, community and connection. And we were at the Small Champion Awards last year with a really good friend / colleague, Karen from Skin Correctives.
Yes.
And when I had the same business coach many years ago, and she said, after the awards party, you're coming with me to a party. And I said, okay. And she said, you're coming to this Circadia party. And I said, I can't gate crash a party I wasn't invited to. She said, I told Phil that you're coming already. It's fine. And I got there and I got chatting with Rachel and Phil, and we resonated, and, we just connected so well. And then I guess I'd spoke to them about me, doing awards, and kind of, they said, let's have a chat. And then a couple of weeks later, I was on a Zoom with them, and I didn't even realize it just all happened that we just were like, yeah, we all want to work together. So I guess it's just keeping the doors open, keeping communication open, and not burning your bridges, and just looking for the opportunities. But I guess I feel we were meant to connect, and we did really organically through a mutual, let's say, industry friend. And it was beautiful and it was great. And it just happened naturally. Yeah, it was amazing.
And you have such a shared ethos, Rachel, Nicola, everyone I speak to at Circadia is very you're very like-minded, and you have like an extremely generous way about you. Rachel, you obviously gravitated to Circadia because of the products, but you also resonate with its ethos, and it has a huge focus on education, in particular providing free education. Is that one of the things that kind of drew you to the brand? Because I know that you are very much in the education sector, providing that for the industry.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible if you start to look at the history of Dr. Pugliese and what he wanted for the industry, and it was for free. He wanted everyone to just empowering their skills, and learning from him has been incredible. He's an author, and I mean, you really just have to go back to the whole science of chronobiology. He was way ahead of his time. Researching how the body's rhythm works, how does the skin work, and knowing that 60 to 80% of skin functions are all through chronobiology. He was doing this over 20 years ago. So when you look at that, and it's only just starting to come to light now, he was way ahead of his time. So I mean, that's the big thing for me. And then giving that education for free, we want to be doing that. It is to help other people. We shouldn't be holding on to that or charging for that. And that's important for me. And for our business, we kind of drive that.
I think that's one of the cornerstones of our conversation very early on about joining ABIC, was that ABIC is, obviously one of the pillars of ABIC is providing education, facilitating benchmark standards, facilitating the elevation of the industry through education and through, really a self-regulation platform. And we had such amazing discussions with Circadia, and I feel that was one of the reasons that you came on board as
Absolutely.
a foundation member. Tell us about your reasoning behind, connecting with us, because it was such a beautiful connection that we had. Why did you decide to become foundation members of ABIC?
I think for ABIC, you're really driving real change in the industry, and you're trying to elevate the standards in the Australian beauty industry. And we needed someone to do that. And so, I mean, in all honesty, it's a massive job that you've undertaken, and it's just really a privilege for us to be able to give back. Dr. Pugliese would be proud that we're doing it. Michael is in the US. So, I mean, really, it's thanks to you for stepping up and doing that for us.
And the council, obviously, and everyone that's members and supports this common goal that we have, which is, education reform, self-regulation, and obviously, through Safe Skin certification and elevating benchmark standards. And I know that through Circadia anyway, you provide so much support for stockists. Nicola, how does Cicadia really prioritize supporting stockists, and what are some of the key kind of benefits that you have within your organization that align with, you know, our greater purpose of helping elevate clinics and salons?
Yeah, so I must admit, when I heard about Cicadia, I didn't know much. And I was like, I'm going to investigate this brand. And I've been in the industry for over 26 years, working in different countries. And I have not met a company that is so dedicated to their stockers and industry as a whole. So just a couple of examples is the level of education and support we get for free for our stockists is second to none. There are so many courses they can do for free via our Cicadia University, which is so generous. I know a couple of the stockists that I've spoken to have been like, oh, there's so much information. And I've said, well, isn't it amazing that you have so much information to access? So that's one of the things I love about Cicadia. And the innovation is always something new and different coming from the US that we can implement into Australia. So we're really ahead of our time and, you know, the forefront of the industry of any innovation. The online sales is very big. And I love that with Cicadia, both Australia and internationally, there is no online sales. It's not like we don't sell online, oh, but you can buy from our website. It's just there is no online sales. Yes, you can advertise on your website that you stock Cicadia and these are the products, but you absolutely can't purchase online. I think that's so important. I've been using Cicadia exclusively for 3 months now, and the changes of my skin have been amazing. The results are really, truly amazing. So I love that our industry, you know, professionals are protected like that. The generosity of Rachel and Phil, they just, since I've been working with them, they're so generous with their stockists and always have this yes and can do attitude with ideas. And I love that. It's not like, no, that's not on the cards. It's always like, let's look at that. Let's see what we can do to improve the industry and, you know, our stockist experience with us. So I love that they're open to suggestions and changes and, you know, ever evolving with our industry as well as our stockist needs. So yeah, I'm really impressed so far. And I'm not saying that because Rachel's here. I really am. I mean, I've been around for a long time. People say I'm an old in the industry. I think they're just trying to say I'm old, but it's really refreshing in 2025 that you can work with a brand that really stand behind their stockists. Education, support, and opportunities. I mean, they just took so many stockists over to the US and paid for that. I've never seen anything done like that in the industry. I think it's amazing.
Wow. You know, you're also a clinic owner, Rachel, as well. So we have, all three of us have that in common. We have other, you know, obviously brands and, you know, other projects that we do, but in common is that we're all clinic or ex-clinic salon owners. How does that influence, I suppose, how you look at your own community? Because, you know, really in this day and age, stockists, if they're stockists and they're to do with sales, that's one thing, but finding partnerships that you can really work and help
Absolutely.
your stockists it's just a different level of connection, and that's what I mean we all strive for: connection, help, elevation. How does having a clinic, Rachel, help you with that?
Well, I mean, it's such a good conversation point, isn't it? You know, we didn't come into this knowing anything about business. Most of us started as beauticians. Some of us have gone into dermal. I'm a sole trader and have been for 15 years. And what I did decide that when we did take on Cicadia, and as a business, we're trying to grow and we need to make sales. And so, you know, I'd watched other brands that I'd worked with look after the big people, look after the big clinics, the award winners and the ones who had 5 rooms or 6 therapists. And here am I as a sole trader. And I felt like I never had much support. And so coming to Cicadia, my big dream was that we're going to look after the sole traders and the small clinics and make sure they have got everything that they need to succeed. And we're going to help them grow. That's a big part of Cicadia. I mean, we obviously love our big clinics as well, and we want to give them a really high level of support, but we're not leaving the little clinics behind. We have a dedicated person in-house just to always be on Zooms with them and talk with them and make sure they're okay. That was really important. And if I didn't have my own clinic and be a sole trader, I would never have understood what was needed. So, I mean, I feel very lucky. I'm very much about the journey that I've been on has brought me to this place. And I have to remember the humble beginnings that we all started from. I didn't know anything. I knew nothing about bookkeeping and business development, insurances. And that's why ABIC's so important, that now we all have a place to go as skin professionals, and it's one place. And you're able to help us with all of that. So yeah, really an honor to be speaking with you today, Steph.
Oh, thank you. I mean, this is what when you're speaking, I feel like all three of us and so many people that are involved with ABIC have that in common, that we don't want to forget anyone, because we've all been there from the beginning doing it ourselves, because we got into this industry because we're passionate about helping people, treating people. We're not necessarily business people first, right? And that's why it is partnerships like this with Cicadia and ABIC and so many of our incredible foundation and supplier members. We've found a family, and we really have this wonderful sense of within the ABIC walls, there's no competition. We all elevate each other, and we have so many incredible brands, competing brands too, competing skincare brands, and we're all under the same roof working towards a common goal. How does that feel? How does it feel to be part of, I suppose, where traditionally you'd be in competition with other skincare brands, but coming together as one to elevate I mean, Nicola as well, like, you would have seen the evolution of the industry. How does it feel to have that umbrella over you where you feel like a community?
Well, I've always been community over competition, and I think that's one of the reasons I resonate so much with Rachel Fell and the brand. Is a few things I wanted to mention, piggybacking on what Rachel said, is about the little guys. You know, sometimes it's circumstantial. You sell your big clinic, you go home because you've had a baby or whatever, you know, cost of living, whatever. And I don't think being a home clinic is any reason to discriminate. And that's what I love about Cicadia. We have small opening orders, we can customize. I've not worked with a company before that's really so flexible in customizing your packages, which is amazing.
Wow, really?
Also, what a lot of people don't know, but I know you know, Steph, because I've told you about this, is everybody is welcome to get a wholesale account with Cicadia, where you can actually purchase the products for yourself at wholesale to try. I've never worked with a company that's done that before. And so if anyone in the industry is dabbling in, maybe, do I want to try some Cicadia? You know, we have an amazing team at HQ that can set you up that you can actually purchase, obviously only retail, but at a wholesale price. We also happy for anybody to jump onto our Cicadia University. We can set them up. They can get access to many free courses and education. We don't hide anything. We're here to really support the industry as a whole. And I've never seen that really done so passionately and openly without expecting anything back. So I think I even got started with the question there because I got so passionate about that's why I wanted to work with Cicadia. I want to be a part of this company that is genuine, that's generous. And yep, of course, it's a business. We'd love you to come and partner with us, but we're here to educate the industry and help the industry and the little guys as well, because you know what? It's the small accounts that a lot of people turn away that actually turn into some of our bigger accounts.
Yeah. And the beauty industry can be quite brutal. We've all been on the side of like the ugly side of it. And what is so great about ABIC is we do have our competitors under one roof.
Yes.
And making sure that this industry is elevated and stays intact, and we have the best education, and we all are working towards a common goal, which is just such a beautiful thing to happen.
Yeah, and it's very unique. Like on our council, we have several council members. We're all friends, and they all own skincare. Like a lot of them own skincare brands, and we talk. We are open. We encourage each other. That's what it's like within ABIC. And so, if you're a clinic or salon owner and you're thinking, oh, you know, hesitant in being part of a community where I've got my other clinic competitors or other salon competitors, don't be, because we're all generally sharing our knowledge and expertise, because we don't believe that our success means the failure of somebody else. Our collective success is what makes the industry shine and the industry better.
That's so good.
I
love that, Steph.
At the end of the day, Steph, I think it's about offering the industry options. And I'm certainly friends with a lot of people who are BDMs for other companies or have been, or like I mean, in my own clinic, I was a big stockist of InSkin. I love Marie, and I know the PBS crew really well. And it's not about, it's that community over competition. It's
Yeah.
like what a
Yes.
stockist is going to resonate with you, me, or them. It's all different. It's not about choose us over you, because we believe and we want the stockers who come to us organically.
Right.
About the hard sell. It's about this is how we can add in with your current skincare ranges and we can fill that gap that you're missing. It's not about choose us, not them. And I think the more skincare brands that get on with that mentality, we all going to rise.
Right.
Right. It's about they're going to gravitate to who they resonate with. So
Yeah.
why don't we all just support each other and enjoy each other's success?
I love that. And I love that we can freely mention names,
course.
mention other people's brands. I do that all the time. I have a brand and I mention and I support other people's brands, and people look at me and go, but why are you promoting other people's brands? I go, are you kidding? I use Cicadia. I use InSkin products. I use all these, but I'm a fan of skincare. I'm a fan of the industry. And it doesn't mean closing yourself up to, one brand. You're right. You naturally gravitate to what fits for you, and we can all succeed under the same umbrella. And I love that philosophy. It's such a generous, altruistic philosophy. And I do believe a rising tide, lifts or raises all ships. So I suppose one question though, I actually really wanted to ask you as well, because I know, Rachel, why you were passionate to become an ABIC member, but why do you, Nicola, knowing what you know about the industry and seeing what you have seen, like I see you at awards, I see you at conferences, we've known each other for a while. When the opportunity came up, when you knew that Cicadia was a foundation member, you got so excited, you joined, you wanted to join the committees, the self-regulation and education committees. You were like, I want to be part of this and represent Cicadia as well. What was it that made you so passionate to become a foundation member?
There is no one else supporting our industry on
I hope that's not the only reason.
legislation or regulation except
Mm.
ABIC. And what a lot of clinics
That's
don't
right.
realize, and I can speak openly from being a big clinic owner, is the
Yes.
fee you pay, whatever it is, $99 a month or whatever, is actually minimal compared to the support you get. If you actually research ABIC and how much
Mhm.
support you get, and the HR and the this and the that, it's just like having an insurance, right? Or paying for your FPOS or paying for your electricity. It should just slide into your operational cost. It is so important. And I think I speak for Rachel as well. We appreciate how much ABIC's doing for the industry, because no one else has put their hand up and said, we'll do the hard work. And I feel bad for yourself, Steph, because I know how hard you work and your committee works and and ABIC works. But when things like go wrong in our industry per se, everyone wants to know about ABIC and lean on ABIC. But when things are great, everyone's like, we don't need you. And I think everybody in 2025 should have an ABIC membership.
Correct.
The value of what you're getting compared to what you're paying, the investment you're paying far outweighs. And actually, for Cicadia stockists, we give a discount as an incentive. And I don't think it's are you an ABIC member? I think it's an expectation in 2025. It's part of what you do to propel your business forward and support the industry. And most of us, I'd like to think, are in this industry because we're passionate, and it's a long haul. It's a life journey. So you want to do what's best and what's going to help everybody. And at Cicadia, certainly with everything that's going on, we want to know that our beauty therapists at clinics can continue to do skin treatments, because that's the heartbeat of everyone's business. And, who's looking after us? So why wouldn't we as a brand, or myself as an ex-clinic owner, support that? And I think everybody needs to do their research and get educated around what's going on, because it's easy to sit back and say, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. But when it does, it's going to hit hard. So we all need to stick together. And I believe those who get on board will get on board. And those who don't, that's fine. That's your decision. But you're going to be left behind.
We're in a really interesting time where like the nurses and the doctors are really stepping into our industry. And if we don't protect it and we don't educate ourselves properly and know what's going on in the government bodies, we're going to lose our industry. And, you know, ABIC is fighting hard for that. And so out there to any clinics that have not joined ABIC yet, please do it. Learn what's going on, just as Nicola said. This is really, really important for our industry.
You're both so passionate. You're giving me tingles. I'm inspired myself. Like, it's sometimes hearing from, you know, the other end, the people that are being affected by this, and the passion that you hear, it just drives you. It makes you want to do more. It makes you want to work harder. And that's what, you know, your passion's done for me as well. And I assume for so many people listening. Protecting our industry is one thing. You know, Nicola, you said when times are good, people are like, oh, we don't really need it. Or, you know, they might think, oh, you know, don't really like some of the council members, or it can get political, or, you know, there's things that reasons why you gravitate towards something and you don't. It could be many reasons. I'm successful and I don't need it. But what people don't understand that's happening right now is there's a really deep undercurrent of change. Things are actually changing before it hits the surface. They're all the foundations are being laid. Right now, the foundations are being laid for education reform. And the question is, are we going to keep the Diploma of Beauty Therapy? That is a question, because the OSCR codes, which were previously ANSCO, has pretty much left out the Diploma of Beauty Therapy under the classification system. And, you know, SACSA and other bodies that are looking at education is, do we reform education to the point where there's micro-credentials rather than a Diploma of Beauty Therapy? How do we restructure the whole education system? And of course, once that gets restructured, so classifications are being restructured, we're obviously going to go back to the ANSCO and OSCR codes and tell them we need the Diploma of Beauty Therapy. We're obviously going to fight for the Diploma of Beauty Therapy within the education reform, but then soon self-regulation will follow. And you're right, Rachel, things may shift. You might not even notice they're shifting now, but in 2-3 years, when the new packages come out of education, if people aren't in the know, they might get a shock. They could go, okay, well, everything's kind of changing around us. The award is changing and a whole bunch of things. If we don't have a say now, when things are getting structurally, you know, put together, it's going to be too late when it does happen, right? So I feel like doing a little bit of a campaign to make people aware is probably the best thing we could be doing right now. And I think Cicadia and yourself, Nicola, being a spokesperson, we just appreciate it so much. Why do you think that voice is so necessary? Why are you out there promoting and talking about this? What do you see as happening in the future that could threaten us all or could change things for us?
So I'm an old school beauty therapist, excuse me. I got my Cedesco back in 1998 and very proud. I studied really hard and got all these, you know, UK credentials. In South Africa, it was very strict. You had to do Cedesco. So that's the international recognition. Now, what about, I'm 47. I know my skin looks good because I use Cicadia, but I'm 47. What about all the old school beauty therapists who really want to treat? I do think there is a place for beauty therapy in our industry, you know, with mental health and all the things going on. I know we want results, but there is also the place for those relaxing, nurturing treatments, I believe. Now, what happens to all the other old school therapists out there? Does that mean they lose their livelihood or their business or whatever? I just think in 2025 that being an ABIC member is not about having a membership and being part of a committee. Yes, that's important, but it's actually insurance for your business, insurance for the entire industry. Now, I know back in South Africa 100 years ago, we had the South African Institute of Beauty Therapists. And I know when I first came to Australia, there was an Australian beauty industry, which kind of went, you know, to the wayside. But ABIC is the only body, like I said, again, that's protecting us. And why would you not be part of that? It's our responsibility to support our industry moving forward. And that's what I love about working with Cicadia and Rachel and Phil and the rest of the team. We're all on the same page with that, because it's all very well that we're here now saying, oh, we're successful with this, with that, but it's not just us now, it's our legacy. And we're all responsible for that. And I feel us, sorry for saying, older generation, we're the matriarchs of the industry.
Yeah.
We need to go out there and educate, because the younger ones are like, what does that mean? They haven't been
That's
around
right.
for as long as we have, and they haven't seen the transformations, whether it be national, international. It's important because our industry may not exist. So we need to really pan together and be like, right, we are the leaders in the industry and we need to educate, and it's our responsibility. And that's part of the role we signed up for when we were 6 years old and we said, this is my industry.
That's right.
Just
Yeah,
feel
we have an absolute responsibility to do this.
hard due
Um,
diligence. If we don't
yep.
do it, we're not. And I know you've got other people on your council staff, absolutely, who are behind what Rachel and I are saying, but it's us, I don't want to say older generation, us wiser, we've been around a bit longer to protect the industry of the, in Australia. Otherwise, what's going to happen in the future? We don't know.
Rachel, you were saying something. It's a
Yeah,
responsibility.
I just think all Cicadia, well, all of us really have such a responsibility for this. And yes, I mean, we can say older generation, we are. These students, we talk about education and how important that is. They need to know, what does that journey look like? What do they need to be a part of to be qualified correctly? When we all finished beauty school in the 90s, we came out, we could do nails. There was no regulation. We could do anything. And I think the education is important. So I don't want certain people using machines. They shouldn't. I want them to be qualified correctly. And, ethanol-based peels, I feel the same about. But they don't know where to start. They come out of beauty school. They think that's the qualification that should have been done. And all of a sudden, we don't know. The government might just straight away take that off them. It is just so passionate, because education is the cornerstone of our business. So whether you're with Cicadia or not, or another amazing skincare brand, join onto ABIC and learn what's going on, get behind it. And we can just really succeed and push this industry growing in the right direction.
I think if history can be a teacher, I remember back in South Africa, 100 years ago, where dermatologists were the only ones doing microdermabrasion. And it was like,
oh, really?
can't do
That's
microdermabrasion.
right.
It's so invasive. And now for us, that's pretty stock standard, right? But I go back to the COVID days, and I don't want to reminisce about the bad things that have happened in the past, because we're not looking back, right? We're not going that way. But do you remember that announcement that was made when they're like, the beauty industry stays open, it stays open, I'll never forget it. And the next day they were like, we're closing you down. And we were like, what the actual hell? Like, last night you were on the news saying they stay open, they stay open. And the next day we're shut down, because nobody understands. They put us in the same classifications as other industries because we were so grey, because everyone just put us in one big pool. And it was hard. I remember crying in my garden with a glass of wine and contacting my team saying, oh my God, because I said, yay, we're staying open. And then 12 hours later, it was like, nope, shut down immediately. And I was like, what? And this is the whole thing about the evolution and protecting the industry, because we are ever changing, which is super exciting, but we need to stick together. And us as leaders, and like Rachel said, regardless of what skincare brand you represent, that's irrespective, we need to support each other. And with regards to stockists and industry, they're going to go to gravitate to who they want to represent them in their clinic. That's fine. We're not forcing anyone to do anything, but we do need to stick together as leaders.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I love it about ABIC. So many different strong leaders from so many different influential skincare companies, but we all have one common goal, and that's protecting our industry for the future.
When you were talking about COVID, I mean, we always say we don't want to look back, but what that informed us, it informed us of the gaps that we have with government. The government just looks at, when they look at an industry, they say, oh, we understand an industry because we understand it through the Australian Bureau of Statistics. And that's the ABS. And this is what I was talking about, the ANSCO code, which are now called the OSCAR code. Our industry only had one code. Beauty consultants, beauty therapists, or makeup artists, or dermal therapists and cosmetic nurses, they were all under this one code, which was a skill level 3, which is a Cert 3 and Cert 4. So the government looked at us and didn't realize we were diploma qualified, degree qualified, They didn't understand that we had infection control. They all thought that we were beauty parlors because there was only one category for us all, including medical aesthetics was all in one. They didn't understand that medical aesthetics even existed, right? Or dermal therapy even existed. It was through ABIC that the industry woke up and said, why are they calling us all one thing, beauty parlors? And there's nothing wrong with beauty services. They're cornerstone. Like, I get my nails, hair, makeup and so forth done, and it's part of grooming, and it's very important for our self-esteem, for our society to have grooming services. They are what makes you feel good every day, right? But there's so many different facets, and to say, it's like saying the building industry is only bricklayers.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's carpenters, and there's concreters, and there's a whole bunch of, there's painters, there's everything in there. But they only saw us as one thing, which was bricklayers.
And it's awful that we had to have COVID happen.
Yes.
But great things have, I hate to say great things, but good things have come from it. We wouldn't have realized that was the case. We could have still been going. So yeah, COVID happened, and I mean, I ended up with Cicadia.
Great things happen from great struggles, but
That's it.
but it highlighted a lot of concerns, and the government then started paying attention. What is this industry? What do you mean they're doing laser? What do you mean? Like, it's always been on the purview, but it's been on the shelf. It came to the forefront after COVID, and they're not looking away now. They are looking, and they are reforming, and they're reforming from the top down. So medical aesthetics are getting it first, dermal, and then beauty therapy it's going like that. So we are getting reform, whether we like it or not. And it is coming in the beauty therapy area. We're even seeing some of the services the beauty therapy provides listed under AHPRA. So, which means microdermabrasion, peels, laser, and things like that are getting attention from AHPRA, that nurses are, using these modalities, and then they are becoming regulated under the medical, sector. What does that mean for beauty therapy? This is what I'm saying. If we don't have our eyes on it, if we don't keep attention on it, if we don't keep representing, we are going to be invisible and left behind. So one thing that I wanted to ask is, you're joining for the greater good, but you're also joining because you want to have a direct impact on your clinics and stockists through your ABIC membership. I know that you talk about ABIC membership and the benefits. Going out there, being a representative of a brand, you hear so many issues that clinics and salons go through. You're hearing problems all the time. The clinic manager will go, I just lost 2 staff, or I've got 2 staff members pregnant, or I don't know what to do with this. And they ask you as a BDM and a brand sometimes for advice. I know that. Is that one of the reasons why as well you joined ABIC, to be able to extend that advice and help to clinics? And how do you think your membership impacts them directly?
You're in lots of clinics, Nicola. Do you want to answer that, or?
Yeah, sure. So being a clinic owner and chatting to a lot of friends in the industry, it's definitely the HR side that we struggle with the most. And who do you contact? Like, I've had team issues which I can contact my lawyer, and they're like, yeah, sure, for $5,000 we can send a cease and desist or whatever it is document. And then where else? And then you've got the employee insurer and all this other companies contacting you all the while, and they're like, join with us and we'll charge you this much, but they don't understand the industry. Right. So really, when you've got an HR issue and you're a member of ABIC, you've got access to all that. And that's invaluable, because things happen, everything's a case-to-case basis. You can't foresee a staff member getting pregnant, or what happened to me is I had a manager who was amazing, who left after 8 months and was accessing my shortcuts and taking things to a competitor.
That happens more often.
Who's going to support you with that, and those questions and the stress you go through as a clinic owner? So being part of ABIC is not just the legal sides and the accreditations and all that kind of stuff. It's also the day-to-day things that you need support with. And who else is going to support you? You can ask your other clinic owner friends, and they might not have the answer, or you can't really confidently go back with that. But with ABIC, you've got so many resources of contracts and HR issues, forms and documents, which is invaluable. That itself is worth the membership besides all the other things, because
Yeah, the support, absolutely, isn't it? The, providing the expert advice and the professional resources and assisting members, to enhance their business operations and, boosting professional conduct. There's so much that
Yeah.
it's a phone call away. It's a membership away.
What about, Rachel, clinic owners who are starting off and they want to build a team? Like, where do you go for your
Where do you
resources?
start?
Right? Yeah, you can
Oh
pay-
yeah, we just had one this week asking, look, I'm starting a clinic. Can you tell me everything I need to know about opening up a clinic and all the, licenses I need to get, all the permits I need to get and everything. So we just sent her a startup document which has, basically everything A to Z, how to open up your beauty clinic, salon or spa. And yeah, they're blown away. And they're tailored resources to our industry as well. They're not and they're tailored advice. Like they can actually say, thank you for this document. I've got more questions. Can we have a consultation? Can you have a call? And we get on the phone with them and work through their issues and problems. Another thing, like things come up. Like we had an inappropriate situation, a clinic saying, oh, this, person had an inappropriate behavior within our clinic. What do we do? How do we ask this person not to come back again? And we have templates and letters for that. We have, or if we don't, we make them up. We create them with our legal team and so forth. There's so many different types of issues that we do. Recently we had, I'll tell you, this was an incredible one. A doctor, so how best practice before you treat a lesion is to have your client go and have a skin check in case any moles are there that are a bit suspicious. This is before IPL or laser treatments on a lesion. And they referred to a doctor, and the doctor got very upset because they misunderstood that they wanted a clearance rather than a skin check. And so we helped them with writing a letter, a follow-up letter, how to deal with the doctor and the situation, how to clarify, and then a template going forward. So there's so many, everything that happens in your clinic in a day-to-day basis, we know how to help you with. And I think that's what people don't understand is the level of detail we go to with the amount of help that we provide. So
It's wonderful.
Where were you 11 years ago?
No.
As manager and owner, and I was just told, no, we handwrite wage slips, no, this and that, and there was no real protocol in those days, or at least from where I took over. And I went in blind, I wanted to understand. And who did we have? You had the beauty award, hairdresser award, or you had Fair Work. And I'm not that Fair Work doesn't have their place, but you call 3 times in one day and speak to 3 different people and you get 3 different answers.
that's
and
right.
no one can really tell you what to do. And it's really stressful.
Mm.
You have something go wrong in your team and you just want to do the right thing, but you also don't want to be taken down.
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
into trouble or whatever. So that's where Abbott comes in.
You know what, the other thing is, we were part of EmploySure as well, and we were part of, various different, because I, obviously had my clinics. And one thing we noticed is the advice wasn't tailored to our industry. They don't actually understand our industry, and it's so expensive. We were paying, $5,000-$6,000 a year to get HR services, where why is it so expensive? I tell you one thing that is incredible, and the reason we are able to give our services for $998 of a clinic membership, a clinical salon membership, is because of foundation members like Cicadia. I don't know if many people know out there, but foundations members such as Cicadia subsidize HR support. So the foundation membership goes to pay some of the HR fees. So you only need to pay $999 for your clinic memberships. So that's what, being a foundation member does, is it actually helps the clinics to get cheaper support through your foundation membership, as well as supporting legal costs and the fight for our industry as well. So
It's an absolute it's a privilege to be able to do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It means so much to so many clinic and salon owners out there. As we've been talking for a while now, but I really want to know, because I know that there's some exciting things happening in the Cicadia world. Can you please just give us a little hint about exciting updates or initiatives that you'd like to share? What are you guys going to be working on this year?
So on the 10th of February, we have our first annual Skinnovation Summit. We're really excited, and this was going to be a face-to-face event, and we were going to travel around Australia, but you know, we're all small clinics and we're trying to, we have to work a certain amount of hours a day, and, it's hard to get sometime to a training event. And so we decided to put it online, and the response has been absolutely overwhelming. So we're super excited about that. We have Chris Astroff coming. She's a global educator for Cicadia. We have Gay Wardell, who everybody knows Gay. And she is speaking on an amazing topic for this. We have some really fun things going on, but that aside, we've got Dubai, our Cicadia Connect. That's in May. So, everyone's invited to that. They are amazing events full of education. And then we've got a few new product launches coming out this year. So yeah, really fun times at Cicadia.
Oh, that's beautiful. And obviously, ABIC is going to be at the Skinnovations conference. Obviously, we're very excited for it.
What
and
Rachel forgot to mention is it's free.
it's free.
We wanted to do that for our industry and not just our stockists, because a lot of companies will be like, oh, if you're a stockist, we'll do that for you. Well, we wanted to say, yes, we want to support and educate our stockists, absolutely, but why can't we extend this all to the industry and from the comfort of your own clinic or office, and you don't have to travel? So that was huge, because there's some people regional, or wherever we were in the city, for example, then you'd have to travel. So we thought, well, save your fuel, save your energy, save all that kind of stress of traveling in the traffic, do it from your comfort of your own home, and we're going to send you a gift, because
Oh, wow.
just want to let you know that we support you. And that's part of where we are in 2025, really supporting the industry, supporting the growth, not because, of course, we're a business, we're growing, we're looking for new stockers. And I can tell you, Queensland, we're coming for you. We've had so many inquiries. I'm so excited being based in Brisbane myself, but we want to educate the industry. We want everybody to do the best treatments, have the best information so they can treat the clients better. It's not about us, it's about the people paying the expensive, not expensive, I don't want to say it, but spending the money to come to us for A, their mental health, but B, their skin concerns. So for us, that's what's important. We're actually looking after the greater good of the industry. And so our decision to go online was for those reasons, and then make it free. Why not? We wanted to give back, which is a big part of what we do at Cicadia, which is why I align so much with the brand, because of the community, the giving back, and that's what I'm all about. So yeah, it's so exciting.
Well, I, for one, am very excited, and I just wanted to say thank you so much, Rachel, Phil, obviously, who couldn't be here today, but and Nicola, for your wonderful support as foundation members. And thank you very much for being involved, joining our committees. And if you're out there listening, you can join our committees as well. We have an education committee and a self-regulation committee. You don't need to be an ABIC member. You don't need to be a council member. You can be a voice in the industry. If you have something to say, come and tell us. We need to know. We need your voice. And thank you so much again, Rachel and Nicola, for being with us on our live today.
Oh, pleasure. And I just want to add, I love to have a good banter. So if any skincare, owners or clinic owners want to reach out to me and ask me any questions about either Cicadia or ABIC, I'm happy to give you some time and run through the benefits. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see a lot of you at the Skinnovations conference on date and time as well.
10th of February. It's all different. I think it's 8:30 Perth time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We only have a couple of tickets left anyway, don't we, Rachel? Because we had to cap it being an online event. So if there's still a couple left, you can go and check it out.
Okay. We'll have the details through ABIC as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Nicola.
Bye.
Bye.